across the thumb here, we've got the neck and the thyroid. Then along the spinal column at the top of the thumb, here you've got the brain. So using the right thumb, we'll work over the heart area. On the left palm, you've got the spinal column along here. You've got the lymph drainage here. This is called a walking move. So you would do that. I'm doing it at slow speed, but you would probably do it faster. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I have been getting lots of feedback on the hand reflexology video that I did, and many of you seem to have a real interest in this. So I thought I would continue with this theme today. I have got a small injury on one of my fingers, so I can't actually treat anyone today. So instead, I'm going to do some hand mapping because I want to carry on doing some videos for you, and I thought that would be a useful way of getting these reflex points into my head so that when my injury does recover, I can go in and do some reflexology treatments. I've actually found an old study book which has some really clearer hand reflexology pictures, much clearer than the ones that I've seen before. So what I'd like to do is have a look at some of these, looking at the palm of the hand first. So this is your left palm here, and I'll look at some of these areas which are quite clearly labelled here, and we'll look at those in a bit more detail. So that's the left palm, and then we've got the right palm here as well, which we'll look at in a little bit more detail. Okay, and once we've looked at the palms, what I want to do then is look at the top of the hand, which we know as the dorsal, and look at the areas that are covered on the top of the hand. So this is your left dorsal, and this is your right dorsal over here, which we'll look at in a little bit more detail. So one of the ways of looking at this is either you can, if you're trying to get it into your own head to do self-reflexology, is to use a little stick or a pointer. Got a stick like that, which is suitable. Another tool that I do have is a pointer, which you can use as well, but I actually find a stick is quite light and you can pinpoint things quite easily. So we can literally work our way around the palm of the left hand, covering some of these areas. I'm going to roughly get some of these areas into my head so that I am familiar with them. So at the beginning here we've got the ovaries and obviously the testes in a male, and then going along here across the thumb here we've got the neck and the thyroid. Then along the spinal column at the top of the thumb here you've got the brain, the pituitary on the inside of the thumb here, and then we can go around to the top of the fingers where you've got the sinuses. Then coming down, got the eyes. And obviously you would use your reflex technique to really push on these areas and stimulate these areas to create energy to flow through these areas and release any blockages. Here we've got the ear. Then along here you would work the shoulders. And just as an example of one of the moves, this is called a walking move. So you would do that. I'm doing it at slow speed, but you would probably do it faster in your reflexology moves. So that would be the shoulders. Next here you've got the spleen, and underneath that the pancreas. Then you've got the stomach area here, and the solar plexus here, which is your energy centre. And that one you could put quite a lot of pressure on to release any blockages there. That does get blocked. Then coming down to here, you've got the pelvic areas around here, and then you've got the prostrate and the uterus, not together, but prostrate or uterus there. Right, okay, we're going to move on to the right palm now, and obviously there will be some similar things, but there will equally be some different areas of the body on here. Right, okay, so you will start with the testes or ovaries here and the pelvic area, so very similar to the other side. Then on this side you've got the gallbladder here, just on this side. You've got the solar plexus again, and the liver. There you've got the shoulder, and again the ear, the eye. Then down in here the throat area, and then coming down you've got the adrenal area, the kidneys, the bladder, and the prostrate or uterus there. I'm going to move the book slightly over so that we can get the dorsal images into the picture a bit more. Now we're going to look at the dorsal side of the hand. So we'll look at the right one first. So here you've got the spinal column along here. You've got the lymph drainage here. You've got a very large chest area here. Then you've got the shoulder and the breast area here. Going down to the lymphatics at the bottom, the fallopian tubes just above that, and then the lower pelvic area here. And that's the right dorsal. Okay, right, we're just going to look now at the dorsal on the left hand side. So we're going to start over here on the thumb with the cervical area and the thoracic area, and then the lumbar sacrum, the lower pelvic area, which is this large area here, again the fallopians, the lymphatic area, Then on the edge here, you've got the knee, leg, hip, the lower back area that you would work here. Then you've got the arm just here, the shoulder, and then you've got the ears and the eyes, similar to the other side. And for those of you that are eagle-eyed, you'll see that this particular picture starts talking about meridian lines, which we're not going to go into today. We can talk about those another day. But if you're interested, there you can see some of the names of them there. There are 14 meridians altogether in the body, and there is quite a lot of crossover between acupressure, which are along the meridian lines, and reflex points. And I suspect that's why they've got it in the diagram here. But you've got some of the main meridians talked about here: the small intestine, the heart, the circulation meridian, the endocrine meridian here, the large intestine, and the lung meridian, which are some of the main meridian channels discussed. But as I said, we'll look at that another day. So I'm going to start this self-reflex routine by working the lung and breast area. So gently walking along these areas, and then do the same on the other side. Right, okay, so we're going to continue working the breast and the lung area on the top part of the hand. Then what we're going to do is work the heart, but that is on the left hand only. So using the right thumb, we'll work over the heart area on the left palm. And I'm only doing these movements once, but generally you would do them 2 to 3 times. So then 4 is work the sinuses. So work the right hand first, using the left thumb to work the reflex points down the length of the thumb, and then all of the fingers. Miss out that one. It helps to clear the sinuses and any problems with that area. Then you would work the eye just by pushing in. So on number 6, working the neck, thyroid and throat. With the left thumb, work the thyroid reflexes, which form a ring around the base of the thumb. Then working the coccyx, hip and pelvis. You use the four fingers of your left hand to apply pressure to the outer edge of your right hand. Start on the lower edge, then edge up the side to contact the reflexes for the hip and pelvis at the top of the hand. So we're now working the coccyx, hip and pelvis, so using the four fingers of the left hand to apply pressure to the outside edge of your right hand. Start at the lower edge to contact the coccyx, then edge up the side to the hip and pelvis area at the top of the hand, and then repeat on this one as well. Then we work up the spine. Oh, I could feel that. Then working the brain, use your left thumb to work the top of the right thumb where the brain is. Apply pressure, hold it for 5 seconds and then release, and then we'll just do it once, but you do that 3 times. Then do that on your left hand. Use the left thumb to work across the right thumb, starting below the nail and following the lines. Okay, so we're working the face and teeth. So using your left thumb, work across the right thumb. And do the same on the other side. Releases any blockages in that area. Then we're working the shoulder, just this area here. And often you can feel in this area a little bit of crunchiness, which is the toxin build-up of lactic acid. Then do the same on the left side. Those shoulder areas. So working the knee and elbow. Just work that outside area. And do the same on the other side. Then we'll move on to work the liver and gallbladder. The reflexes for these are only on the right hand. So you use your left thumb to work the area that's indicated here, which is sort of level with the thumb. And you would do that so that you cover that area. So you cover the liver and the gallbladder. So probably covering 3 lines there. Then you would move on to work the stomach, the pancreas, the spleen, and the solar plexus. So the reflexes for the stomach, pancreas, spleen, and solar plexus are on the left hand only. So you use your right thumb just to cover those. So then we work the intestines. So using your left thumb to work the area covering the colon and the small intestine. Then you work the bladder and the urethra, just this area here. Then the kidneys, which when you're practiced you can actually locate and feel. Then you can work the uterus with the left thumb. A slight, what they call a hooking move here. Then the ovary and groin area. And then very last is working the fallopian, which is to the bottom, as we indicated at the very beginning of the video. And that brings us to the end of my first go at a self-reflex routine that I have not done for many years. It's not perfect, but actually it's really interesting to look again at some of these moves. Some of them need refining, I think, but on the whole I've got a really much better idea. So thank you for coming on that journey with me today.